Where the frig are you looking now?
That's right. I'm over here, bitch. Hey guys, what's good? What's happening? And what's going on? Freaking camera was daydreaming, staring up at the sky. Freak sakes, but yeah. I kind of want to go to Walmart. It's lunchtime and I want to go to Walmart. Should probably, before I leave the house, grab a bag. Look at it outside, guys. It's super sunny. It's beauty. But it's also like freaking 10 degrees centigrade out. Last night, man, I regretted not having a hoodie in the truck or wearing a hoodie fishing. Holy crap. If I go fishing tonight, I am so wearing my Bass Pro hoodie. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Last night, I was sitting there shivering trying to friggin' tie my hook on. Like, to be fair, I'm not sure if I want to go fishing tonight or play video games. I think fishing would be the smarter idea. Like, it's super cold out right now. This house is freezing. Well, let's just go see what the temperature on the wall says. Like, it feels cold on the feet to walk on the floor. And the house is reporting 62 degrees Fahrenheit right now. And I have the furnace set to come on at 60. I do not want the furnace to come on ever. So I'm gonna set it down to 50 because it's freaking June and my furnace should not be turning on. It's like the middle of June, man. It's Friday the 13th. I question if we're gonna get shad flies this year. If the weather, that freaking light's on. Oh yeah, because this morning, friggin' 7:30 hit and we lost power for like 2 seconds. Also heard a boom, so I know what caused the power failure. Transformer exploded somewhere and then power was rerouted. That's probably all that noise I'm hearing in the distance is they're fixing it. Yeah, fun times. It's at least warm in the truck, probably because it's a black truck and it just cooks in here. All right, fire up Super Peg. Yep, Friday the freaking 13th, boys. Right now, my truck says it's 18 degrees centigrade out, but it's super not 18 degrees centigrade out. Why won't you stay off? I turn off my stereo, it turns back on. Stay off, you friggin' pile of shit. No, I want to go to Walmart because I want to look at getting some, I don't know what the hell I want. I want to get some of those grub things like what Sarah was fishing with last night, because I think like watching the two-tailed grub one swim through the water, it literally looked like a frog, which was great if you're going after bass. Pike will eat that too, which is what snapped me off, I'm 100% sure, last night, because the way the line looked when it came back in was pretty pike toothy rubbish type destruction. So I want to look at getting some more of those curly-tailed grubs. I was gonna 3D print a mold and then just pour my own. I remembered using PLA that it wasn't good enough, and they suggested using PETG to print lure molds from an FDM printer. I just don't have any PETG on hand. I remember I tried to make some PLA plus ones because apparently they're more thermal resistant, but even they started warping after a few pours. So I've never tried PETG for making lure molds, and I thought that would be the best way to do it, but I got to order some PETG in order to give it a try. And then I was going to do a video of a 1-day print to pour to catch, but no, my luck, it would take friggin' 2 days for the mold to print. Well, I shouldn't say that. That new printer, that K1C, is very, very, very quick. Like the old printer would only print at like 50 millimeters a second, and this one here just throws down at 300. But yeah, so yeah. And I should have just tied on a jerk bait last night. Like, the grubs worked. You know, there's a reason why in every angler's tackle box you'll always find stray grubs everywhere. It's because they work. Fish eat them, so people carry them. And there's a reason why people carry them. It's because they freaking work. Like, I've caught fish on them before. I always thought they were a scam because I'd never seen a bait fish that looked like that. But then when you actually see it in the water flipping and flapping around, you go, oh, wait, no, this is valid. This is an actual bait fish. This makes sense. Because the way the tail moves and hobbles around and shit, it's very much valid. So, yeah, originally my plan was for that. And then I got up today and started searching underneath my desk through all my filaments to see what I had, and I got like 2 rolls of ABS, which is great if you want to make high impact stuff, but not really high heat resisting stuff. I had some PLA Plus, and some Silk PLA, but no PETG. And I know I bought some PETG. Why is that car not moving? Holy bud, get off your cell phone. I hate people. I was about to honk my horn, but it didn't go off because I didn't hit the right area. Like, you seen the way that white car up there was angled in? It's like he wanted to come into Walmart and he turned in and he didn't quite make the lane complete. And then he starts playing friggin' Angry Birds on his phone and doesn't see the green light. And then he costs us our green light because he sat there for half an hour. Like, what a prick. But no, I was gonna print off a mold and pour my own grubs. And then I could do stuff like coffee scented or anise scented, or like put some flavor into them. I still want to try a pour based off of something that someone told me to give it a try, but I don't know how well it's gonna work. But the only way to find out is to do it and see how it comes out. And I thought I had the material for it at home because I bought it a long time ago, and I don't, so I'd have to purchase some more of it. And I just really wish it came in small containers because I really don't need a huge container of the shit. Unless it actually becomes a fish killing magnet, then yes, I do need a huge container of the shit because I'm gonna make a bunch of different types of baits out of it. I also wish I could lock in a Canadian lure mold maker, like an aluminum one, not these sandstone pieces of shit I've been buying. All right, I'm at Walmart now, so I'm gonna run inside, get my shit, and I'll talk to you when I get out. Peace. Just bumped into a coworker in Walmart, and he goes, "Oh, it's time to fill up on snacks for the weekend." And I'm like, well, more like snacks for the fish for the weekend. Told him I was coming here to buy baits because we don't have a good tackle shop. Freaking people walking in the middle of the freaking road and you gotta drive around them. Not this guy, I'm not talking about this guy here. I'm talking about when I just turned into the parking lot. Bro's walking right down the center, looking at the ground, probably out of his mind on something. I managed to get some curly-tailed grubs. They're white, they don't have black here. Things I don't like about North Bay. Number one, the tackle shop options. We have Canadian Tire and Walmart, and of course there's North Bay Tackle, or North Bay Anglers, or North Bay Outfitters, sorry. What I hate about North Bay Outfitters, if you work an 8 to 4 or a 9 to 5, there's no freaking way in hell you can get down there to buy stuff. Because they're only open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday. Saturdays they're open from noon till 4. Other than that, forget about it. And bro was like, well, you do get a lunch break, don't you? And I'm like, bro, I get a lunch break, but I live on the other end of town. By the time I get down here, it gives me no time to look for things. And you always have new stuff, so I like to go through everything you have to see what I think I can make work. It doesn't complement my schedule. So yeah, when you bitch and moan about Canadian Tire and Walmart stealing all your business, maybe if you had a better business model, that wouldn't be the case. But when you don't, well, welcome to losing your business. Welcome to bankruptcy. Like, I don't know what to tell you. If you don't accommodate your customers won't purchase from you. You'll lose them. All it will take is a tackle shop to open up with hours of like Billy Bob's Bait. He's open till 7 every night. But they don't have a lot of tackle in there. They specialize in live bait. If there was like a tackle depot up here or some sort of a tackle shop that was open later, North Bay Anglers would be gone because nobody would go there just because of convenience. And I know what you're commenting right now. You're already typing, Adam, you should open up a tackle shop in North Bay. No, I really don't need to. I really don't need to. Because number one, I don't like running a business. Did it? Didn't enjoy it? Did I make money doing it? Yup. But did I enjoy doing it? No. Because there's a lot of back-end bullshit to deal with when running a business. But no, I was thinking about camping, and yesterday after I made that comment on the video of rigging up the float rod, I decided to start looking at camping in my area. There's a couple campgrounds down just about maybe 40 minutes out of town. It's a pay-to-camp site. And then I started looking at Crown Land camping, and I found a site with basically overlanders explaining how people Crown Land camp in their cars and all that. But the problem is a lot of the grounds, you can't get to it by vehicle. You have to trek on foot. So you park your vehicle and then you trek. Well, the whole reason why I built a truck camper was so I could do that. This is the reason why I'm contemplating on taking the bed out and just using my cot. So like if I need to go camping, just bring the cot, my small sleeping bag, chuck it all back there and go. Because yeah, no, I could always do like Rex did and freaking just camp in Walmart parking lot. But I definitely want curtains on the windows on the back because, yeah, you can see in there pretty well. So that, and with all the homeless people walking around, you know, they see a vehicle, they'll door check it, look for an opportunity, right? They'll door check it. So you gotta be careful when you're out there stealth camping in a Walmart in these Ontario cities. I don't know how bad the homeless situation is in, like, say, Manitoba or Saskatchewan or Alberta or British Columbia. I'm assuming it's not too bad in the Northwest Territories because a lot of people don't live up there. And if they do, it's because they have heat, because if they were homeless, they probably wouldn't last more than a couple nights. But like in the warmer climate areas of Canada, which is really not that many, I don't know. I know homeless is bad here. It's really bad in London. It's horrible in Toronto. Like, they got streets and streets of tent cities of people just staging up and living in tents. But, well, I can't fault the homeless for checking cars to see if they're locked so they can maybe get something to survive with. You know, in that state, you are in a survival state. But at the same time, I worked hard to get what I got, and I don't need somebody just to come along and take it. So there's two sides of the coin. Two sides of the coin. Anyhoozle, I'm back home now. I got my Walmart bag. Yeah, there's snacks in here. Who am I kidding? I didn't feel like cooking, and I just went to Walmart and got some food. They have that ready to eat counter, and, well, you know me, I'm ready to eat. Watch your face, stupid. Freaking cat. She's always got a death wish. Always got to stick her beak where it doesn't belong, eh? What is it with cats? Why do they do that? Like, I get it, they have 9 lives, but do they want to spend them all at once? I really didn't need to bring a Walmart bag because all I bought was some 1/8 ounce jigs and some of these swim baits. So, these swim baits, the twister tails, but with the single tail, so it doesn't look like a frog coming through the water. So maybe, just maybe, there's a potential chance a bass might eat. But the reason why I bought the lighter jig heads is I don't really need a big jig head. And usually when you have a really big jig head, you also have a really big diameter hook, which sometimes when the bass goes to eat, or the fish in general goes to eat, they have this tendency of bouncing their upper lip off of the circle of the hook and then deciding, nope, that's not food. And then you're basically euchred out of your fish. So smaller profile hook so they engulf the whole thing. And then when you set it, it gets lodged into their upper lip, or worst case scenario, their lower lip, at which point they'll never be able to close their mouth again, especially with my violent as hell hook sets. But there is something I need to learn to do, guys, and that is tie on a leader line. It doesn't have to be a long one, it just has to be present. I think this is the reason why Sarah was catching more fish than me last night. Is because she fishes with monofilament and I'm fishing with straight braid. Straight braid can work with bass, but fluorocarbon and monofilament will work so much better because it's completely invisible underwater. Fluoro if you want that sinking effect, mono if you want the line to float. And also fluoro is really nice for fishing too because of the oh, I probably should have taken the lid off. Son of a bitch. The lid said microwave for 2 to 3 minutes. What it didn't say was take the lid off. Freaking completely cooked itself. I got some like chicken rice bowl. I don't know, it looks pretty good. I just hope that the glossiness of the chicken is just because of the sauce and not because of molten plastic in my chicken now. But I think if I go fishing tonight, I'm gonna head down to the dock because why not? All right, guys, it's like something close to midnight right now. Now, probably saying, oh, holy shit, like the last time you filmed was like right after you got back from lunch. How come you didn't pick up the camera? Well, I did. I went fishing tonight. Now, originally I planned on adding the fishing content to this video. But an opportunity struck. That opportunity was to do a special video. Do you guys remember last year I dropped a video talking about Dollarama and them having fishing reels? The Mako 2000, I believe it was called. And I did a video on that showing it, and then we put some braid line on it to see how that would work. And yeah, okay, so tonight I go to Dollarama on my way down to the fishing hole to see about getting more jig heads and seeing if they got anything new there, and get inside, couldn't find the jig heads, start moving stuff around because they had freaking paddle tails on with the jig heads and freaking spinner baits in with the Senkos. Like, it was just a mess. Like, obviously whoever works that aisle called in sick today, whatever the case may be. Well, they had all these like fishing nets, which I might pick up 2 of them and bring them down to Blokes. They'd be really good for kayak fishing. Really good for kayak. They're just really short handled nets. Perfect for the side of the boat scoop, so you can take the stress off your rod and handle the fish. But anyway, back on topic. The nets were exploded all over the place, so I ended up cleaning up the fishing area tonight at Dollarama, putting stuff where they should be, when I noticed a gem What did I say last year on the Mako video? I said, man, Dollarama's lure selection is getting so good that by next year, now that they have reels, next year they'll have rods. And then I got home and I looked it up online to see if Mako made a rod, and they did. They make a telescopic, which is a 4-footer, and then they make a 5-foot 2-piece. So I was like, yeah, next year, Dollarama will have fishing rods. And what do I see there on the shelf? A freaking Mako fishing rod, boys. If you follow me on Instagram, chances are you already saw the freaking pictures of it. I went out fishing with this thing tonight. When I saw that, I realized, well, won't be adding the fishing stuff to this video today. I guess I'll be adding it as a video of its own because that's what it's going to become. Didn't realize Scampers was so low on water. So the rod is $4. The reel is $5 for a grand total of $9. The reel comes pre-spooled with like 6-pound monofilament, not the best, willing to put in the time. While you're at Dollarama, buy a spool of 10-pound braid from Mako and throw it on the reel because the mono is no bueno. I swear these reels are last year's stock because the amount of telephone cord memory on that damn line was intense. Very much intense. So I highly recommend that you do not use the mono that's on there. If anything, go braid and tie on a leader. Now, something I did do before I went down fishing, I was chatting with a buddy and I'm like, man, I gotta get this uni knot shit down to a science so I can tie a leader off of the braid on my fishing line. And he's like, why are you using uni knots? And I'm like, well, because I know how to tie them onto a hook, but I have issues tying them onto another line. And he said, no, he goes, try the Alberto knot. And he sent me a video. He's like, this is what we used in scouts and such when we had 2 pieces of rope and we needed to bind them together to make it into 1 piece of rope. He goes, the final knot is very, very small. It'll slip through pretty much every guide on your reel or on your rod. And it's a super easy freaking knot to do. So I was like, oh, okay. So I watched the video and went, holy shit, he's right. That is pretty freaking easy to do. So I ran out to the truck. I grabbed the bait caster, started working some fluoro on it using the technique. And it held. Like I grabbed one end of the braid with it. I put a glove on because have you ever tried to pull hard on braid? Wrap it around your hand and give it a pull? Yeah, it's a great way to cut your hand off. Freaking shit's so serrated. So I put on a fishing glove and wrapped it around my hand and gave it a pull, gave the fluorocarbon a pull, and holy shit, it held on for dear life. I was like, wow, this is good. So then I did the same with the spinning setup. Then tonight I go to Dollarama to pick up like jig heads and to see if they had any more of those. Because sometimes the Mako brand, they make the grub paddle tail type baits. So I figured we'll go there and we'll get some of those, but they didn't have them. So I ended up using the Mako ones that I had, the micro ones. And then I switched baits up a lot on that combo. You'll see. But yeah, that'll be tomorrow's video. That'll be tomorrow's video is the Dollarama fishing with the Mako 2000 reel and the Mako medium heavy. Sure, medium heavy. 5 foot. It's a 5-foot fishing rod. I thought the 5'6" ugly stick I had was bad. This thing's a 5-foot fishing rod. Holy piss. So yeah, fun times. But anyway, guys, so yeah, I did go fishing. It was a struggle. It was a struggle. Mainly, I hit up the same location as last night, the Sunset, and then went down to the Calendar docks and threw some lures there. It was good. I left here at 6. I got back, well, I left the docks at like 20 after 10, and then Sarah was working at the Legion in Calendar, so I was like, I'll pop into the Legion for a bit. Obviously didn't have any beers or anything because I was driving home, and you shouldn't drink and drive, guys. I don't accept that. There's no reason to drink and drive. There's so many freaking services out there to get you home alive that you don't need to operate your own vehicle. Just spend an extra couple dineros and get a ride home. But yeah, so I didn't have any beers or anything while I was there. I just went and said, hey, because I bought her some jig heads too to replace the ones that she lost last night. Got her some from Dollarama because they're so cheap. They're just, it's like $3 or $4 or something. And you get like like a bag of 10 of them. You go to Cambodian Tire or even friggin' Walmart and you buy a bag of jig heads and it's like $12. What's the difference between the ones from Dollarama and the ones from frickin' Cambodian Tire? The only difference is the ones from Cambodian Tire have Berkeley written on them, and the ones from friggin' Dollarama have Mako written on them. In the end, lead is lead, and it's the hooks, so not a big deal. Now, when I do start making my own jig heads, I should really take a look at the molds that I bought. But when I start making my own jig heads, I want to make them with, I want to either use Mustad hooks or owner hooks. Really sticky, stiff hooks. Really good kind. I want to make some premium quality freaking lures. I got a whole bucket load of lead in the garage. I got a whole freaking bunch of, well, I don't have a lot of hooks. I have to order some hooks. But I got the 2 molds. I got the swim bait mold. And I have the other mold, and I'm thinking I'm just gonna airbrush them, put some color on them, make them look like a fish head or something, put an eyeball on it, dip it in friggin' epoxy or in UV resin, cure it, call it, and I'll have some pretty high quality jigs to fish with. My buddy's like, man, if you get really good at it, you could sell them. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to get into the market of selling. Like, I guess I could, like on a weekend, a craft show down at the waterfront, just work and make a huge stock of shit and then bring it down there and go. Like, I thought about doing that with the PLA printing. If I could finally prototype and succeed at making a crankbait and making a good working jerkbait, and that I could just print off a bunch, paint them to make them look actually kind of decent. I got to practice my painting skill. That's what I really need to do. Paint them up so they look good and bring them down there and do at the craft show and just sell them. Just friggin' Skivens Baits, or I don't know. I need a good name for a tackle company. I'm bad at naming things. That's why my cat's called Scampers. And that's why my old cat was called Poofy. Because, like, it was the first thing I thought of when I saw this orange bastard was Poofy. Not Cheeto. Nope. Maybe even Pizza Face would have worked. See, I didn't name him. My ex did. That's Felix. I named him. Couldn't come up with a cool name. Called him Poofy. So, you see, I suck at naming. But I thought about doing that because there's a couple of, there's craft shows coming up this year, but I wouldn't have time to build enough stock to actually go down and do that. So I thought about if I can get a prototype working and then save the STL and just put it into mass production printing, I can go from there. The other thing I was thinking about printing was selling was my treble guards for the hooks, because nothing's more annoying than going into your tackle box and accidentally having 2 or 3 freaking lures in the same compartment and they're stuck together and it's just a great big mess of lure because all the trebles are connected. So if you have treble guards, you can protect your shit. And you know, selling them for like $5 for a bag of 10, that gives you the ability to protect 5 lures. And if you want more, you just buy more. It cost me maybe 50 cents to print, not even, maybe 30 cents to print, probably not even that, probably 10 cents to print, 10. If you're making $4.90 profit, it's not like it's taking my time. I just click print and walk away. If it's taking me, so you get a bunch of friggin' lure guards to put on your hooks and you're ready to rock, you know. That way there you can keep your tackle box organized. And if you want to mix in your jerk baits with your crank baits and your freaking, like I do in my fanny pack, I got literally the pouch in the front is just a bunch of cranks. It's like a bunch of freaking jerk baits and stuff with 2 treble hooks each, but they're all covered so I can just reach in there and grab it and I don't have to worry about pulling every single last one of them out. Comes up clutch. So yeah, I thought about doing that, but I did mention earlier today about North Bay Outfitters and their hours of operations being completely kife, and that it'd be super sweet if there was another bait shop that opened in town that wasn't Canadian Tire or Walmart. But I'm not the one to open that business because I just don't really want to. But if somebody was looking to start a business and they did that, all they'd have to do is have better hours of operation and offer the stock that people want, and they would just destroy North Bay Outfitters, or actually force him to run at proper hours. Right now he has no competition except for the big companies like Walmart and Canadian Tire, but neither of them have the fishing stuff that he does. Because like if you just want to go out for a day on fishing, you just go to Walmart and buy a rod and reel and some baits. Some hooks and tackle and all that. If you want the professional stuff, the high grade stuff, you got to go see him, because you ain't going to get that at Canadian Tire. You'll get some at Canadian Tire. You definitely won't get it at Walmart. But if you go to Canadian Tire, you know, you can get your expensive Daiwa Tatula reels, and you can get your expensive your expensive Shimano reels, and your expensive friggin' 13 fishing stuff and all that. Canadian Tire has that. But if you're looking for like the real good stuff, like the Shimano, was it the Shimano Mentix or something like that? I can't remember the name of the reel, but it's like their latest version of a DC casting reel, which is insane. Apparently you can just whip it and you'll never bird's nest. I'd put that to the test. I'd bird's nest it just to be like, dear Shimano, I broke your shit. You know, one of those, because that's what I do. I prove companies wrong when they want to. You want me to beta test your stuff? Fine, I'll find the flaws. Don't worry about it. I will find the flaws in your product. It's what I do for a living. But anyway, guys, on that note, I'm going to shut her down here and call it quits for tonight because now this is 2 videos that are going up. So the reason why I didn't put the fishing stuff in this is because that opportunity to fish with a Mako rod and reel combo with Mako baits and Mako line, literally Mako fishing, boys. When that came up, I'm like, yeah, I need to make this a video of its own because that's just golden. So anyway, on that note, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, click that like button. Hey, any questions or comments or concerns down below the going on. Until next time, guys, live it to win it. Peace the frig out.
Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.